It all started on a warm summer morning in Virginia. The air was thick with humidity, and my scarf clung to my neck as I stood outside the modest brick house. This was my first job in America, far from the dusty streets of Bala where I grew up. Back home, I never imagined leaving my family, my small world. But life has a way of surprising us. The Jacobs, a seemingly perfect family of 4, needed a nanny. And I needed the money. It wasn't just about the paycheck. It was about proving to my parents and siblings that I could do this, that I could thrive in a country so different from my own. I was 33, unmarried, and fiercely independent, a rarity for a Jordanian woman. Carla Jacobs, the wife, was polished and stunning. She wore tailored blouses and designer heels that clacked against the marble floors of their spacious home. Her blonde hair was always in a perfect bun, her words precise and deliberate, like every syllable mattered. Then there was Alex Jacobs, the husband, tall, with an easy charm. His sandy brown hair curled slightly at the ends, and his laugh lines hinted at a man who had seen joy, not just stress. He didn't say much that first day, just nodded politely and handed me a cup of tea. Their children, Splendor and Emmanuel, were 5 and 3. Full of energy and endless questions. I was nervous, of course. I'd never worked as a nanny before, but Carla assured me that being the eldest of 6 siblings was experience enough. She was kind, but I could tell she was a perfectionist. She handed me a thick binder, rules, meal plans, daily routines, emergency numbers, even instructions for folding laundry. The first few weeks were uneventful. I woke at 6 a.m., prepared breakfast, packed Splendor's lunch for school, and kept Emmanuel entertained until nap time. My days were filled with storybooks, finger painting, and chasing Emmanuel around the backyard. At night, I retreated to my small room in the basement, exhausted but content. Then, one afternoon, about a month in, I noticed Alex watching me. I was kneeling on the kitchen floor, wiping up a spill from Emmanuel's juice box, when I felt his eyes on me. "You're amazing with them," he said, leaning against the counter. I looked up, startled. "Oh, thank you, sir. Please call me Alex," he said, smiling. I nodded, feeling my cheeks flush. It wasn't what he said, but how he said it, like he genuinely meant it. Back home, men didn't speak to women like that unless they had an ulterior motive. But Alex seemed different. From that day, I noticed him more. How he always asked if I'd had lunch. How he offered to help carry groceries. How he lingered in the kitchen when I cooked. Carla, on the other hand, was often absent, her high-powered corporate job taking her from one city to the next. "Don't you ever get tired?" Alex asked one evening as I set the dining table. "Tired of what?" "Of doing everything for everyone." I shrugged. "It's my job. I'm used to it." "You shouldn't have to be." His voice was soft, but the words lingered with me long after he left the room. In my culture, women were expected to give endlessly, to serve without question. But Alex's words made me feel seen, appreciated. I tried to ignore it, to remind myself of who I was and what I believed. I was a Muslim woman, bound by faith and tradition. There were lines I could never cross. But life, as I would soon learn, had other plans. That summer stretched endlessly. Carla's work trips became more frequent, leaving Alex and me alone with the children. Slowly, the boundaries blurred. At first, it was innocent. Shared jokes, stolen glances, conversations that lasted a little too long. But deep down, I knew I was treading dangerous waters. I often heard my mother's voice in my head. "Aaliyah, remember who you are. This world will tempt you, but you must stay true to yourself." I had always prided myself on my self-control. But Alex was different. It was a rainy evening when everything shifted. The children were asleep. The house was quiet except for the rain tapping against the windows. I was in the kitchen, cleaning up after dinner, when Zach walked in. "Need some help?" he asked, rolling up his sleeves. "No, it's okay. I'm almost done." But he stayed anyway. We worked in silence for a while, the air thick with unspoken words. Finally, he broke it. Do you ever miss home? Every day, I admitted, but I came here for a reason. You've sacrificed so much. I looked at him, surprised. Why do you say that? Because I see it. The way you put everyone else first. The way you never complain. It's rare. His words caught me off guard. No one had ever spoken to me like that before. Not even back home. It's nothing special, I said, brushing it off. It is to me. His gaze locked with mine, and in that moment, something shifted. A connection. A spark. A silent acknowledgement of something neither of us dared to name. I went to bed that night with a heavy heart, torn between my faith and the feelings I couldn't ignore. I prayed for strength, for clarity, for the courage to stay on the right path. But deep down, I knew my world was about to change in ways I could never have imagined. This was my story. What would you have done? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Infidelity Stories for more stories.